world, and say why music. Hello world, and say why music, and you can roll with it or refuse it. I say hey, ways of the world, this is my day. Something like BK happen my way. This is my time, I'ma shine so much.
Yes, indeed.
I'm magically appearing because I'm in Montana with a bunch of mountains. He be the one them called Timo Peach.
And he is definitely the one they call A.Y. Young, ladies and gentlemen.
Fumbling through this without Phil today.
Without Phil. And this is, what is this?
Global Goals Roadshow.
Yes, it is. What is this show designed to do, man?
Yeah, this is like designed to empower you. Like I believe that everyone in the world is an outlet for change, right? And we can all do two things. Like we can power and support change, and we can take an action. And so, got this belief that, and really what the battery tour is an outlet for you to plug in and connect to your passion and power real change with us, with your passion. How about that, Timo? Is that pretty good?
That is surprisingly good. You are on the road touring in Montana, and we, of course, have plugged our passion in through the universal language of music. And this will be some of his music. Would you like me to push this, or have you got something queued up?
Roll it!
I can see the distance closing, all my problems feeling loaded like I'm floating on an ocean side. Creep, and my dreams are getting closer. I can feel it like emotion on this twirling roller coaster. So it's
No,
I still love that.
I'm a big fan. And here's some of his music.
Nostalgia like crack addicted to looking back on where all our ways goes. We let somebody know now nothing's as it used to be. Cause it's not about you or me. Any joy, any grief, I can feel the relief to let go, to know I am free.
I still like that as well. Now, we want you to feel like you can plug in your passion, find your voice, your confidence, and feel like you can help us write the new songs and stories of us. And so we are asking always, what is your passion? Because passion is where change starts. Am I right, brother man?
Yes, it does. And, typically this is when we share this great tea that Timo makes, from around the world. But I'm in Montana right now, surrounded by mountains. So I don't even have a cup, bro. You can just pour some into the hand.
I think you might want, just into your hands. There we go. Look, and across the miles. I don't know whether it works for the story format, but there we are. And what's the brew today? Oh yeah, Mountain Dew. That's good, isn't it? Mountain Dew this week. Mate, what is Montana like?
I like that. That's so good. Mountain Dew. Dude, Montana's been crazy, guys. Like, I'm out here on the battery tour, like, pushing Project 17. I just did, like, a sold-out show with, like, freaking 500, like, students. It was crazy. So, yeah, just getting the world plugged in. But, dude, we have some great people. Where the heck are they, dude? Where are they at?
Yeah, where are they at? I think we should. Is it time, Phil? Don't put your feet up just because he's in Montana. Should we write? Let's just write this.
Global Goals guess from the east to the west. I said, can you guess where the Global Goals guests are on this week? Because they could be basically from anywhere.
I mean, yeah, dude, like pretty much anywhere.
Totally. Global Goals guests
from the east to the west.
Yo.
Who should we get in first, man? Who have we got on the show? I would like to first of all welcome Helen to the show.
Hello.
Hello,
Good
welcome.
afternoon, evening, morning.
It is.
What's
Helen,
up, honey?
you sound like you have a British accent, which means
I
you're probably
sound
on the
like you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're on the same time zone I am, love. Where are
I
you
am
in the world?
today. I am today. I was in New York Friday, LA last Wednesday. So
Showbiz.
depends. But today, London. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Yes. And I talked to AY actually. We were in the same like dialed-in meeting last week as well. So yeah, small world.
I mean, it doesn't get much more showbiz than that, than being in a meeting with AY.
Exactly.
I have been. I know what it's like. AY, shall we bring in someone else? Are you still on the tour bus there? Yeah, he's got really sucky internet. So I'm going to go ahead and invite in Tiffany.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Where in the world are you, Tiff?
I'm in Kansas City, Kansas right now.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah,
So
the hometown, good old hometown of AY.
KC, you know, I didn't think I'd want to. It's not something that was on my radar years ago. Now it will be a pilgrimage to go to KC.
Yes, indeed. It's growing and growing, and we love it. We love to see it.
Yes, I'm looking forward to coming one day. AY, my brother man, are you there? Is your internet giving you anything at all?
I'm making it. I'm here now. Yes, we just did. I just got on the freaking IHOP Wi-Fi. So,
Mate, you are one of the many things that impresses me about you, AY, is how you can engineer things on the go. Like you've got 3 brains plugged in. I can't do that.
Guys, I'm here. Oh my gosh, now we got the Global Goals Music Roadshow. Okay. Yo, Tiffany, hello, girl.
Hi.
Miss Helen, you're a superstar. I'm so okay. Can we start off like this though? Like, you know, I normally help start that off, but I wasn't like, yo, Helen, tell us who you are and what you do though.
Well, hello, I'm Helen. I'm sitting here in London, and what do I do? Well, I spend a lot of time working in social impact. So that means working with the UN and UNDP, which I know AY does a lot of, and maybe you do as well, Timo.
I float around the edges of these things and nod sagely. That's what I do.
Fair enough. Yes, we all try and sound wise. And then I'm also Chief Impact Officer at a company as well. So I work with startups and brands and nonprofits and all sorts of things for change.
Amazing.
It's so great. You know, I've been around so many wonderful women, honestly, in the last like 4 or 5 weeks, from Ann Rosenberg, who's on the show, to Shelly Zallis. And it's like so important to have women in that space, you know, in the social impact space, and honestly in leadership in general, in the corporate space. So, yo, I did like, and Timo, are you right there?
I'm that way.
I want the world to know. Tiff, say hello. Tell like hello. What's up?
Hello, everybody. My name's Tiffany. I started my business 2 years ago with my passion around fashion. I am trying to reduce textile waste and build up by reusing recycled fabrics. So buying secondhand, trying to reduce our imprint as a business as well. So reducing paper waste and non-recyclables, always trying to find a way for that in our business plan. So when we're talking about global goals, I know AY talked about the target 12.1, I believe it was.
She's jumped straight into the format. No mucking about. It's right. Let's
pay you for this.
No, that's the one. That's the target I closely relate to. Just sustainable production from the top to the bottom.
I mean, I still want to run the. Do you want to just run the jingle anyway?
We probably should just straight up like right in. Where is Phil? I'm in Montana. There's no Phil.
There's no.
What goal are you most plugged into? Seriously, we need to know what goal you like.
Tiffany, say it again.
What?
Which goal are you most plugged into?
Oh, I think 12. I think 12. for me
Yeah,
personally.
and say a little bit more about 12. And like 12 is really interesting, man, you know, because like it's crazy how like I've learned a little bit about like it's not just like it's not just the manufacturing stuff, but it's like a consumer thing. It's everybody, right? Like it's how you produce it, how you what like we have a way to make an impact as a consumer as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's kind of where my voice in social impact comes along with my production and design skills is changing the verbiage behind fast fashion and changing it to a slower fashion. It is applicable to everybody. Everybody's a consumer. So
Yeah.
if we can create higher quality products that are meant to last and not only last one wear, you know, we are changing social impact, global impact, and it trickles down into many other goals as I've done my research on it. It's very crazy how interconnected as a business it is for me and my model.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, Helen, we'll come back to that definitely, Tiff. Helen, you've got one or two things to say about fashion, I'm sure, but which goal are you most plugged into?
Good question. I think, can I choose two? Is that allowed?
Why not?
So cavalier. Whatever makes impact.
Well, all of them are important, obviously. But I think I've done a lot of thinking about this. I think my two are poverty, so number one, and climate change, which I think is number 13. And yeah, that's the one. And for me, it's about resources. And if you have a lack of resources, a lack of means, whether or not that's climate, you know, the planet, or if that's financial means, or, you know, poverty means a lot of different things. That it means hunger. It means even, you know, buying cheap fashion is not sustainable. Like all these things kind of plug in. But yeah, I think 1 and 13 for me.
Yeah, definitely. I found when I was first looking at the global goals and researching it for my podcast, Unsee the Future, I sort of followed my nose on how they fit together, and it led me to poverty. Poverty sort of, in a way, what pulls together all of them in lots of ways. And even poverty of justice, poverty of recognition. Yeah, I can see why it's number one, but in a way to sort of end up there, I found quite profound in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it underpins everything, doesn't it? Like all the work that I end up doing often comes back to like this socioeconomic thing.
Yes.
Whether or not marginalized communities generally get impacted by socioeconomics. So yeah, I think poverty is a biggie for me.
Yeah. AY, are you there? Oh no, hang on.
I was saying, yeah, you know, little still internet issues, but I was saying it's interesting with the poverty thing too, because like, you know, I had a question someone asked me about poverty today, and I think that the UN contributes it to like, what is it like if you're under $1.25 a day, you're in poverty, number or something. But I would, what do you like? Because when I look at today, like, you know, Tiffany in the clothing, you're recycling used clothing. You know, which to be honest is not much of a cost, you know, like, and then you're talking about poverty being something, I guess what I'm trying to find a thread here, but I'll say, Helen, to you, a question to you though, is like, you know, how do we, you know, help get people out of poverty? And you said did you say climate change was 13 was one of your main things?
Yeah,
and you're in the business.
I mean, that's...
How are you maneuvering that or powering change there?
So I think it comes at lots of different levels. For me, my passion is business. I think business is a part of what's needed because there's a lot of money tied up in business. I think, you know, governments as well, and then us as individuals, like actually being a little bit more educated on it, understanding where we can contribute. What I do, and the reason I suppose we've connected is working with the UNDP, looking at. I worked on a project in the last year which it ties fossil fuels and economics together, and actually looks. We launched a film, a dinosaur, at the podium of the UN General Assembly last year, and it was really about talking. The UN came to us and said, you know what, we've got this really amazing kind of economic model, and we want to actually look at how do you reduce fossil fuels, but also put the money for fossil fuels into the economy and back into like vulnerable communities. And I was like, this is genius. Like, it's like tying climate change, and it's tying in economy and lower socioeconomic groups, and it's just like, I want to be part of this project. And so we were working on these, I'm not the economist, but there was like the chief economist sitting there at the UNDP, this amazing guy called George, super smart. And it was like, how do we get people really talking about this? Because our governments are sticking a load of money into fossil fuel companies. And through subsidies, and subsidies essentially is tax breaks for those companies, and it's like handing out cash, and yet those fossil fuels are killing our planet, which is affecting the kind of lower socioeconomic groups. So, and really, we were looking at how do you change that? How do you
shift the exactly. And even what something I'm learning is that let's be generous and human about how much people in those businesses may well be wanting to do things, but they just can't. There's habit, and there's also viability as they see it. Can we switch to these things? Well, surely that comes from pressure, from that changing the culture, the story that we all think we're in. Tiffany, that must resonate enormously with fashion, which is such a huge thing around the world, such a sense of business you must work with too. How do you shift the culture of fashion?
Well, to begin to try to shift anything or create impact, you have to be educated. And I think consumerism right now in America specifically is lacking a lot of education on what ends up happening to this product I buy on Amazon. What ends up happening to this t-shirt once we recycle it, or let's say it's donated. Most of the time they're not. The problem is, and in relation to these bigger companies, we're talking about having their thumbs pushed in certain directions that the people maybe don't get to create that impact because they're the voice and they're the decision making. If you're looking at fashion companies like Zara, H&M, and Forever 21, they created a Band-Aid solution by creating a donation box in the front of their storefronts, and you get a coupon to, as a discount for your next product. Well, only 1% of those donations actually get recirculated back into the ecosystem.
Wow.
And that alone is just in 3 major branches. We're not talking what's wasted and left over at the Goodwill that goes straight to landfill, or Salvation Army that's not sold. All these products people are just throwing away because they're damaged or unfit to wear anymore. But these bigger companies that are selling them are having them made for 10 cents a piece. And
you are both talking about big machines, big cultures, massive parts of globalization. Impact, I think, is the theme here, the word. How on earth do we have more impact? Helen, you're a captain of impact. How do we have more of it? You think, what do you feel in the reality of you as a human being just trying to do a job? What does impact mean for you?
Good question. I think one of the things we talk about, some of my crew and I talk about knowing your own purpose, and actually you guys are talking about passions. Like what is the thing that you want to do? What's your why? Like, what's your contribution? And I think for us, it's about finding out what your passions are and having a think about what gets you out of bed. And it's hilarious. I was watching your podcast and someone was like, it's all about compost. And I was like, amazing. That's an amazing passion.
It is.
But like,
it is.
What is your passion? Like, I care about people. I love people. I just love people. Like, it's just, we're all so interesting. But if you can think about your passion, but also think about your gifts, like what is it you bring that's unique to you? And what's the cool thing, what is it you're bringing to the table?
Right.
And if you can work out those 2 things, I think you can start working out where can I be of service? Like and this is, I'm speaking of stuff that my team, I've got Afdel and Bobby who I work with, and Philip, like these are all concepts and ideas that we share, but I think that's
you're
a good
spot on. Like I just been, I was just in school, just did a show, literally just did a show 5 minutes before this podcast, right? Literally. It was like I said, and I was literally saying about knowing your why, right? Like in order, you know what I'm saying, Timo? Like in order to like even really know your passion, you gotta know your why. And I always tell this story about how like some people say I want to be a social influencer or artist, but when you start diving into who you are, you might figure out that you just enjoy adoration from people. Affirmate that. that you like the feeling of being seen, and maybe that's because when you were younger, your dad didn't give you as much attention, right?
Yeah.
So, right, but once you start to know who you are, then you know, okay, well, maybe I don't want to be a rapper or a social media influencer. Maybe I just like attention. There's a lot of ways to get attention, right? You know,
Yeah.
like to really break it down, like, what is your why? What is your passion? And I love what you're saying, Helen. What you're saying, Timo. I mean, that is what an outlet
Yeah.
is, right? Taking an action.
Yes, it is. I was just going to say, before coming to you, Tiff, that this is why the phrase that you give me, my colleague, plugging in your passion, that is the place to start. It's one of the wisest things we can do is, well, what's my passion? How can I plug in that energy? And the thing is, it'll feed you back. So when you're looking right into the storm and it seems far too big, if you know why you're there and you're getting that weird energy of excitement, like, I don't care, I really want to do this. That, honestly, it sounds so silly, but that is how we change the world. Because imagine everyone plugged in like that. That's the culture to try and make, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna ask you two a question. Is that cool, Timo, for a second? I got a random.
It's very cool.
It's a whole chapter. Look at each other.
It's a whole chapter.
I'm like, Helen, let me look at you. Wait, do I look this
Hang
way
on, do
or
I
this
look
way?
that way? What way do I look? Do I look up?
You gotta figure it out. You down here, girl. You know, right? Hello. So I mean, it's just really cool. You know, this is really. This is like a too long story thing, and I know we move with the show. And we got a lot to do, but this is funny because you talked about fossil fuels, and just last week I took a photo. I was at South by Southwest, and there was like a sustainability room for Shell or something, or building or whatever. And I took a photo, and the sustainability side of the world came at me hard, which was really interesting because they're a fossil fuel company, but they had this sustain, and I'm thinking, it's funny. I have this concept that everyone's an outlet, right? And sometimes in this movement, it reminds me of like a church, right? And sometimes I would go to churches, and they would say, "We love the Lord, we love everybody," right? And then sometimes, like, say, an LGBTQ person or someone who dressed louder would walk in, and it was almost like, "Oh, we love everyone here, but not them. They're not allowed."
That person.
Right?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's because I have this. When I say everyone's an outlet, I think everyone. That's Amazon. That's Google. That's this company. That's that. That's the kid in the classroom. And everyone, if they're going to be a part of Pride 17, they're going to take a step, right? And they're going to power, support, change. So I'm saying all this to say, you brought up the fossil fuel industry, and I'm thinking about what Tiff you do in the fashion industry, because there's a lot of big name fashion companies that manufacture overseas, or there's a lot of different. It's not necessarily sustainably done. Like, what is your take on? Because I feel like you guys are part of like a revolution of how to do things, and it's almost like maybe the fossil fuel industry, maybe the fashion industry needs that redesign. So what are you seeing as far as like the possibility of a redesign with the actual structure? I mean, taking clothes that are, older and then creating new, like, this is crazy. That's like a redesign of how to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts of, like, from the fossil fuel industry to whatever? Is there just a redesign necessary? And should we redesign our thinking when we say we want everyone at the table?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. It requires a full redesign, that's for sure. But Helen, I'll let you answer first.
No, go for it. I've used some air already. You go.
Okay. Well, I think the redesign process would, for these larger companies, it's going to take so much time, so much manpower, so much of us to align together to present like, hey, this is an option. And I think for me, my first solution that I thought in my head with these big companies would be, okay, well, give me all your damaged goods. Don't throw them away. If you have misprints, or let's say something was sewn in the wrong direction, or with the wrong stitch, or they throw these away. So if my company could even absolve all of those damaged goods that's going to waste, at least I could start there, But on an individual citizen level, just being smarter about your choices of where you shop and where you decide to end your clothing's life, where are you putting it when you're done with it,
Yes,
What about
indeed.
Helen? Your thoughts on business? Like, I mean, it's almost like business in itself is redesigned. I mean, everywhere I
Yeah.
go, it's like people are talking about purpose. I mean, it's nuts. Like, I mean, I feel like businesses in the past were about scaling and making more money, right? And now you guys are having meetings about how to do it better for the people. Like, I mean, this create people in the world is staying, we're working remote because it's better for their mental health, right, Timo? Like, tell me your thought. Like, is business being redesigned? Like, is that what we're in the middle of?
Yeah, I think COVID, there were a lot of horrible things to come out of COVID, but I do think I mean, we've all said it, it kind of stopped the world and actually gave us space to think about it. And I agree, yeah, things like working remotely, things like, I suppose it elevates to the top what was important to people. I do think still in business, and I had this conversation with some clients last week, one of the things people in business need to do is kind of start acting out of positivity, not out of fear or out of guilt, because I think those emotions get in the way of like it's almost like you come to the table and it's like, oh, I'm carrying this guilt and this fear, and it's just like, well, we're not going to get anywhere with that. Like, if we can find a way of resolving some of that stuff,
that's powerful.
that I think could be really exciting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, and what it does come back to, if it's a culture change to make impact, is storytelling. And that's why AY and I are in this game. It's creating experiences that change the way people see things and change the story they think they're in, where you don't even have to think about throwing stuff away. Well, what if you do? How can we help those at the top and those of us at the bottom feel like we're empowered to do anything? That really seems the challenge of our generation. And that means plugging in and waking up. Now, my colleague here in Montana being the place where humans will make first contact with the Vulcans, apparently, according to Star Trek, by the way. There should be a statue to Zephyr Cochrane there somewhere from the 2050s. I might be going off on one that isn't very helpful. But what brought you to Montana right now, man? It's a story of yours, isn't it? Just some.
Yeah, I mean, it's this long, and Helen, because of UNDP now, and like Project 17 is kind of like growing, right? But like Project 17 here, bringing together, the biggest artists in the world, individuals, companies, corporations, plugging them into the goal they care about, and it's beautiful because Montana, cares about, the global goals and sustainability, and they're moving forward in that way, but. This is what I'll say, like on the thread of like today is like, I'd also say it's funny, Timo, I don't think I've ever said this, like Project 17, my life, the last 10 years, it's really been what Helen, you were saying, is just like, it's really just a journey of almost self, a journey of like discovering the purpose and the passion, the why. And I think I'm just here as an outlet, going from city to city, state to state, country to country, bring us together to really be an outlet to inspire people to find theirs. And it's dope when it happens, whether it was the weekend recently and his team, the artist, the weekend, he cares about hunger, or this artist, that artist, this company. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see, Tiff plugged in at goal 12. You, Helen, I mean, you kind of span more goals, even 17. To be honest, you're bringing the business sector together in some ways. It's beautiful to be with you guys, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it'd be, I'm thinking of you having just had your birthday, your own personal birthday.
Happy birthday!
Exactly, and also 10 years of being out on the road, hustling as a street kid from KC. Man, and yet you're still discovering. But I would say that all you need is a massive bucket of talent. And a little bit of more passion than anyone else can muster easily, and then edit that into some beautifully shot footage, and you will have somebody who is properly inspiring. And I'd like to run the VT on that. Let's run VT on this. Look how nice this looks.
Where did this come from, or why are you doing what you're doing? Like, why are you trying to change the world or bring the world together? I watched my dad change the neighborhood block by block.
Police say a Kansas City couple has reshaped community policing. They have closed more than 700.
It came from a family of people that spent their life empowering change.
He's making a name for himself in the music industry and for his commitment to renewable energy.
His name is AY. He's one of 17 youth leaders chosen by United Nations.
AY Young will perform at an inauguration ball for Biden.
AY Young is a name you might want to remember because it's a name some of the biggest stars already know.
I really see my parents in what I'm doing.
Our world is challenged like never before.
All 193 United Nations member states affirm what are known as the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
I get a call from the United Nations. They're telling me about these 17 goals and how they're picking me to be the leader of the youth of America.
I'm here to listen. Don't ask me questions. Tell me what to do. Give me ideas.
My mission is to kind of break down these silos, these barriers, and build bridges to power collective action by bringing everyone together.
It's going to be incredible. My work plan's in 3 different phases. I'm going to make an album powered 100% by renewable energy.
Right now, AY Young is working on an album based on the 17 United Nations goals. Major stars like Tech9 will collaborate.
Nothing is special when you can come to my house and eat. Because we go way back.
When I was in Honduras, it's so crazy. I'm going from village to village, place to place to bring concerts, to bring people renewable energy.
Yo, I'm AY with the battery tour. We're here in Honduras. It's beautiful.
The people are so genuine, they're so friendly, but it's also a place where, like, you could be killed in a second.
It's become known as the murder capital of the world.
There are 700 million people that are still living in poverty.
The whole premise of your music is about collaboration
100%.
and about getting excited. It's about going across the finish line.
I don't think anyone can disagree that everyone needs to have access to energy, water, food. My belief is that everyone in the world, we're all these outlets for change.
The Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin, brought to you by top correspondent Timo McNewsface.
Hello, yes, this is the International News Bulletin of the Global Girls Music Roadshow with me, Timo McNewsface. And as the European Union announces an initiative to crack down on fast fashion, where, as they say, clothes, furniture and smartphones sold in Europe must be longer lasting and easier to repair under new rules proposed by the European Union. I'm joined by 2 people today for whom the word impact is a guiding theme in their work. First of all, I would like to be joined by Helen and also by Tiffany. Hello and welcome to the Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin with me, Timo McNewsface. Helen, if I might come to you first, impact is a very significant word for you, but do you think that changes in the EU will indeed make much of an impact on the right to repair and people maybe thinking twice about how they use things?
I think it's a good start. I think we're on a bit of a journey, but I would say the fact that it's happening at policy level, and when we talk EU, we're talking lots of different countries. So, I'm not a specialist in fashion by any means, and obviously we're talking about other goods as well, but I would say you've got to start somewhere, and that feels like a good start.
Yes, and speaking for business as you are there, and Tiffany, of course, you are in fashion. Do you feel that this goes far enough? Is it a good start? What else would you like to see fashion business in particular do here?
I would like to see more fashion businesses, like we're talking about impact, using their platform to have impact and make the change that they're making and following through with that, and showing people where this research or this impact or whatever these goals they enforce, what they're doing for the people, what they're doing for us as a nation and us as, a whole world. And I think fashion consumerism is built to be fast.
Do you feel that it's not built to be fast? It's built to be fast, exactly, and disposable. Yeah. Do you feel that there is any anything to be learned here as a gender?
Agent calling?
Yes, I'm sorry. We seem to be interrupted there. I will come back to my question. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. I'm just trying to get in this call. Timo, you're asking these stupid questions.
Yes, that is I believe the local decider. Well, thank God you were right.
Can you hear me? Hello? Are those two women here? The one business lady, she thinks she's fancy. I don't really care about it. Talking about this and that. Why should I care?
Yes, a local decider.
Things always work. Why do women have to be so involved nowadays?
Do you have a question
My business flows great.
Do you have a question for either of our current panelists?
Yes, I have a question. I'll try to keep my mouth shut. But I got a couple of questions. Helen, you're in business. I'm in business. My business makes a lot of money. I don't know about yours. You're a woman. But why do you guys need to be at the table all the time? The things have been great how it is.
Oh, great question. I would say, look at all the research. I would point to research about an equal world, an inclusive world. I mean, women are consumers. So if you wanna sustain your business, and I figure you want to stay in business, women are increasing in power. They're increasing in financial equity. And yeah, I would say you probably need to make some changes if you're not thinking about women.
Yes, I think that there are people who would also echo that. Tiffany, sort of half a good question in there from the local decider, even though it did seem to come from 1965. Do you feel that women should be playing a bigger role in redesigning the future in this respect?
Yes, absolutely. I think their voice should be just as heard or valued as the next qualified person. But I'm loving how we're starting to see women take these roles over.
What's next?
The responsibility is just as high, if not higher. So I think the equality issue becomes into play. And there's, like she said, do some research. You might change your mind.
Do some research, you might change your mind. Is this a perspective thing that gender, because of the way that gender has differently received the system that we're in, can you therefore have more insight perhaps into designing better ways of doing and having impact?
Yeah. For example, when I first started my fashion career, I was the only of 37 consigners. I was the only female of all 37. And in my first 4 weeks, I outsold all 36. So to say that there isn't a spot for a woman in the lineup is wrong based on the women who do take the role of, taking that responsibility and wearing it proudly. I'm a woman and I'm going to do the best I can do.
Indeed, yes, as any person would. Well, thank you very much indeed, both of you, for your time on the Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin.
Whatever. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I think we seem to have lost the local decider there, yeah, we have, haven't we? Yes. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on the show. I have been, of course, Timo McNewsface.
The Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin, brought to you by top correspondent Timo McNewsface.
Yeah, only saw myself there.
Yes, indeed. Well, I don't know, whether that shed more heat than light or not, but that was our local news bulletin. Should we bring our guests back in?
Yeah, totally. Oh my God. What's up, ladies? Wait, are they all on?
I think they are all on, indeed. No, we are all here.
You guys are super, that was, first of all, that was interesting, but I have a few things to say, but that was really, what,
I'll say this. Can I this is like a thought, because like the gender thing and the like just the rise of like, you know, I've been hanging around Shelly Zalis. She like has this thing called the female quotient, you know, and she's built like one of the largest networks of like women leaders. And you know what I noticed is like the world, I feel like the last like 50 years or so, it seems like the business world has been like kind of predominantly ran by men. And sometimes I think that women can lead from the heart place, you know. And like Ellen, it would be cool to like hear your thoughts. Like you're in the business world, like what kind of change are you seeing? Like obviously you're a woman yourself. You're bringing so much more thought of purpose, I feel like, into that space. Like talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's loads of different levels at which women are, you know, important to business. I think what's really exciting for me is I recognize, you know, I'm not new to business. You know, I'm not probably at the end of my career either. But what I'm seeing is the young women that are coming up and the kind of opportunities that they're starting to get, because people, you know, we are seeing leaders, female leaders in business, and having the empathy, having the community. There's certain things that a lot of women bring, as well as strategic understanding. And, you know, I think a lot of women are very good at kind of architecting, seeing lots of things happening at the same time. And so kind of bringing those skills, but also understanding that it's really hard to be a young woman in a boardroom full of guys. Usually, you know, guys, let's be honest, old white guys is a thing. It's been a thing in business for a while.
It's a thing, I hear, yeah.
And no, but it is. And so, and it's, you know, cutting through and actually even finding the confidence from within to have an opinion. Like that's taken me a lot of time, and it's still scary. And so the opportunity for women to come up and actually be able to have an opinion, to be seen, like it's so important to be seen in business.
You have a seat at the table, you know, and to me, that's redesign. Like it's a redesign, because you're seeing women that had having a seat at the table or an impact, like you, Ellen, or more and more like business owners that are women. And it is creating this redesign though, right?
Yeah, yeah, it totally is.
Tiffany.
Like totally. Yeah, Timo. Yeah.
Tiff, I'm just wondering, you know, your position in that as well. Are you seeing the opportunities around you change from when you were a little bit younger?
I think yes. Slowly but surely it has. After COVID, I think the emerging journey through self that people went through, I'm seeing a lot of women come out of that time of struggle and really take it upon themselves to place themselves in those scenarios that are harder, to have those tougher conversations, to represent themselves and their voice, you know. And I'm loving seeing that catapulsion into future. Yeah,
I agree. You know, I was just thinking that you know, on the one hand, as a man, I kind of so much want to see more of what you could describe as the sacred feminine, just expressed through our extremely macho robot world. You could genderize it very easily, but I wonder whether the insights are actually, because I find myself always wanting to listen to somebody who has not had it easy in society. So list all the categories that so many of us can fit into. They're going to have many more insights into what's wrong with the system than people who look and sound more like me, who might not have had to think about it.
Right.
Yeah, not and Timo, like to your point, I know, like on time, like
agent calling.
Why is my name named not my name?
I don't know.
I'm local rocker.
You are the local rocker, so you're definitely not the local decider. I think you just interrupted a great thought from AY there.
Hello.
What can we do for you, local rocker?
I just don't like the fact that my name is named not my name.
Yeah.
Will your man fix this?
I'm sure Phil, can you fix this in post, mate?
It's okay. It's okay.
Phil says yes. Oh, look, there you are. Good.
I have barely any time. I just wanted to say, Miss Helen, Miss Tiffany, you are so incredible. I think you guys are so cool. I have one question.
What is that?
How do you make a local change locally? I feel like I must know. I am local rocker. I am 45 with 4 kids, possibly 1 on the way. I have achieved greatness because I am locally connected, locally known. How can I make a change locally?
Go ahead, Helen.
Oh, it's a great question. I think a lot of change needs to come from kind of grassroots, and it goes back to what your passion is. Find the people who share your passion, and a sense of the same kind of purpose and things that you care about. For me, it's finding, well, traditionally would have said find your allies as well, like find the local people in your community. But I've stopped using the word allies for lots of reasons, and like I'm definitely gravitating towards accomplices. I think there's a little bit of we need to roll our sleeves up. We need to find the people to do that with. And for me, like an accomplice is a much more active, I feel like we're kind of dismantling the system a bit, getting involved.
Yeah.
So I would say probably those things.
Find an accomplice. Tiffany, what would you say?
I like what she said about finding others who are either like-minded or creative-minded or that inspire you, motivate you in your local area. Reconnect with those people who inspired you a year ago. Go give them a call and see if they can meet you for coffee.
Yes.
Ask them some questions.
Local connection.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I am so thankful. You are so great. Helen, I love you. Tiffany, I one day will thrift your clothes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Well, thank you, local rocker. We really appreciate you dialing in. And there we are. And I don't know what happened to AY there because he seemed to get cut off. He was just having. Oh no, he was. Hey man, jump back in. You were just, mate. You were just having a great thought.
Oh, yo, what's up, guys? Timo, hold up. Guys, Tiffany, you're really great. Oh, yeah, yo.
No, but you see, right before the local rocker, you had a thought. It was coming. I could feel it was going to be good. Go with it.
Is he ordering pancakes?
Just 2. Is he ordering pancakes?
He's an IHOP, isn't he?
All my stuff dropped. Yo, Timo, I got to get out of here. Actually, we got to hop on the plane. It's like 1 hour, right? Or it's like right now. Okay, guys, I love you guys so. I wish I could I was going to do a whole wrap up.
Yeah. Don't do the wrap up. Do the whole wrap up.
Yo, Timo, you got to do this yourself, bro. You got to handle it. You guys, peace out. I love you.
So close. We get so close every week.
He gets his plane.
I know. Yeah. I hope he doesn't miss it.
Yeah. Well, that is the life of a showbiz change maker. Things move fast, and we nearly got the summing up there from him this week. Never mind. I'd like to return to you two to sum up, and thank you both enormously for joining us on the show tonight. Is there a thought you'd like to leave us with, or a place we can find out more about your work and your projects, your thinking? Tiff?
My Instagram is really the point I guess the platform I'm finding most use out of and connecting with my network and my community locally, and also where I've been in the past. But Instagram, I'm updating local stories of kind of my journey through creating a project start to finish. You can watch videos of me collaborating with other designers there. And I also have my own website, thriftedtiff.com. So you can see some of thriftedtiff.com.
Thriftedtiff.com.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I hope we will put that in the notes and things below. And I'm glad it's called Thrifted Tiff because I must just say, I have this weird thing I've inherited from my dad. It must be genetic, where he used to abbreviate everyone's names in this familiar, very friendly way, but it could sometimes annoy people. So if I've called you Tiff accidentally, it's just,
I love it.
It's just me being over friendly. So apologies but that's good.
Sorry.
Fine. Meanwhile, Helen, I can't produce the word Helen in a silly way.
I get called Tricky a lot. It's my surname. So.
Oh no, you would be Tricky, wouldn't you? Yeah. Well, from now on, Tricky and Trickster. I'm guessing.
Trickster, yeah, Tricks.
I can imagine.
I love it.
Trixie Lulu Bell, what do you have to? That was somebody else on you, I think. What would you like to leave us with? Where can we find out more about your work?
Great question. To be honest, there's not many Helen Trickies on the internet, so give me a Google is probably an easy way to do it. I work with, as I said, the United Nations Development Program. I actually work for a company called Conspiracy of Love. We are our own little conspiracy of social impact. So you can find
I like that.
Yeah. Come find us. Like, we work with predominantly businesses and charities, non-profits, but yeah, love to say hello. Reach out, please do.
You have both blessed us all tonight by coming together with such energy and insight. It's only ever a crazy snapshot of what people are doing, but by seeing you sit next to each other across the water and share your views and just demonstrate that we are all trying to plug in our passion to this. For all the mucking about, we're taking this very seriously. This is our lives and our chapter on Earth. So I'm built by knowing you two are in it with me and with us. Thank you ever so much, both of you. Tiffany, see you again soon. Helen, thank you. And well, that is our show. What have we learned? We've learned that I can't read the buttons on my well-known piano in the dark, so I can't change what I don't know what this sound is that I'm playing to sum up tonight. It sounds more 80s now, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it? What have we learned? Well, this is really an 80s montage thing now, isn't it? We've learned impact. We want to have it. In the social media age, we think we're supposed to be having, lots of it. That impact is something big at scale. But really, impact is added up by lots of local things. And impact is built on truth. Your truth plugged in right where you are. When you think that feels inadequate, let me turn you around. It's the only place to start. It's the only place to make a difference. Follow the breadcrumb trail of excitement. And drive safely on your way home. I've been Timo Peach. This has been the Global Goals Music Roadshow with my colleague AY Young out there in Montana on the bus, hopefully on the plane. Chat to you. I'm now just filling time as I do. Phil, you could just, instead of sitting there with your feet up, no, you can't smoke in here. We've been through this. You're the last person on earth who smokes. You could help me with the assets. I don't know what we pay him for, but anyway, I have been Timo Peach. This is the Global Goals Music Roadshow. I am looking for the end thing. We can probably edit this in a lot tighter afterwards if any of us wanted to do that. And there we are.
I know that we could be one big happy family, but it's gonna take some time to work this out. I know that we could be one big happy family, but it's gonna take some time to make things right. But baby, I don't need it just what's the love, y'all? I think we need more love, y'all.
Peace and love to everyone that come between.